Hello and welcome to Real Life Architect. I usually make videos about the reality of altering and extending private homes, but 8 months ago I made a video about how artificial intelligence might impact the architecture profession. And over the past week, that video has gone viral. Right now, it's been viewed almost 500,000 times, and the comment section is full of people saying that AI will replace architects. Given the hype around artificial intelligence applications which produce drawings like Midjourney, DALL-E 2 or Stable Diffusion, you might think these comments have a valid point. If AI can draw a building, why bother hiring an architect? The thing is, you don't hire an architect to do drawings.
What?
Sure, drawings will happen, but that's not what you're paying for.
So what am I paying for?
We will get back to that later in the video.
Seriously?
Think about this for a minute. Let's assume you aren't an architect, you haven't worked with an architect, and you don't know anyone who is an architect. If that's you, where did you get your idea of an architect from?
I am the architect.
If you got your image of an architect from Hollywood, then I'm afraid that is about as accurate as a medieval map. Okay, so right about now you're probably thinking this video isn't really about artificial intelligence. This guy is about to go on a rant about what architects actually do versus what people think they do. And you're right, but hold on, don't skip the video just yet, because I'm willing to bet that whatever you do for a living, you might be worried that AI will threaten your livelihood. Could a computer do your job? I worry about this too, so let me explain how I am protecting my job from being automated by AI, and maybe you can do the same. I say maybe because you might have to make some significant changes to keep your job safe from AI. Now, if you think big changes are impossible or too stressful to contemplate, I get it. After all, who wants to listen to an Irish guy on YouTube tell people that his job might be okay, but yours, maybe not so much?
The Lord tells me he can get me out of this mess, but he's pretty sure you're fucked.
Okay, before I made this video, I surveyed my subscribers on YouTube and followers on Instagram, asking them how AI might affect the architecture profession. I gave 3 options. Would it wipe us out? Would it leave us unaffected? Or would we learn to adapt? Before I share the results, let's see what I actually spend my time working on. This pie chart is from my timesheets over the past 12 months. It shows what tasks I've been doing and the percentage of my time I spend on each. First thing to notice is that I spent 39% of my time dealing with projects under construction, holding meetings with contractors, inspecting building sites, working out how to deal with unexpected problems, and negotiating costs when things change. I spent 24% of last year doing administration, writing emails, organising my calendar and to-do lists, preparing financial accounts, social media, marketing, and all the other things that are needed when you run a business, but which don't actually earn any money. I spent 12% of my time doing feasibility studies, that is, drawing options for clients. This is the closest thing I do that matches what people imagine when they think about architects. 7% of last year was spent on building regulations approvals, specifying insulation, fire safety, drainage, electrics, ventilation, noise attenuation, structural design, etc. Another 7% was spent on tender negotiations, working out the cost to build my projects. 4% of my time was devoted to continuing professional development, which is a mandatory requirement for registered architects in the UK. 3% of my time was spent dealing with post-construction inspections, snagging, and bringing contracts to a conclusion. Just 2% of my time last year was spent on planning applications, that is, getting statutory approval to build my projects. And the remaining 2% of my year was spent meeting potential clients. I think it's possible to divide my time along a spectrum, with technical tasks at one end and interpersonal tasks at the other end. Some tasks, like admin, could be largely automated, and I'm fine with that because it's a huge drag on my productivity. Tasks like feasibility studies, planning applications, and building regulations fall somewhere in the middle. They could benefit from AI helping me produce drawings, but ultimately I still need to talk to my clients, negotiate with planning officers, and consult with other specialists to get these tasks done. Tasks like meeting potential clients, tender negotiations, and construction contract administration are almost entirely interpersonal because they require me to meet people face to face and spend a lot of time in meetings, personally inspecting work on building sites or negotiating changes to specifications and costs, as well as using my professional network and independent judgment. I think the 24% of my time spent doing administrative tasks could be massively reduced by AI, but that won't be a bad thing. It will free me up to do more productive work. About 21% of my time could potentially involve tasks that AI might assist with, but not actually take over completely. And 51% of my time involves interpersonal tasks that AI is just going to struggle to deal with. Good luck getting a computer to find the right builder for your project, negotiate with angry neighbours, deal with overworked planning officers, answer questions from clients who've never built anything before, find practical solutions to unexpected problems in a 200-year-old building, consult with an experienced contractor to make sure work can be carried out safely, and all while making sure the project budget is kept under control, despite the fact there are dozens of suppliers and subcontractors, none of whom know each other or have worked together before. So while AI might become increasingly relevant, because I spend so much of my time dealing with people directly, I can't see artificial intelligence replacing architects anytime soon. And the results from my surveys back this up. My YouTube subscribers and Instagram followers agree that architects could adapt to AI. I even asked ChatGPT and it came up with the same answer. We might need to change, but architects are not going to be replaced. But all this focus on my own job overlooks one vital issue. Where does the money come from?
What you gonna do, Derek?
Think about it. I don't pay for projects to be built. My clients do. So what if AI dramatically affects their jobs? My typical client is a couple, both university educated with school-age kids. They are usually highly paid professionals such as doctors, lawyers or accountants, and many run their own firms or they are highly placed within large organizations. Only time will tell, but if you're worried about AI affecting your job, you need to think about these two factors. Is your job more interpersonal or technical? And how do you change it to be more interpersonal before AI gets smart enough to automate the technical part of your job? Where does the money come from? Who is the ultimate customer, and will their job be automated away? The first part is within your power to control, but the second is not. So even if you can change your role to be more people-facing, if you work for a business whose clients might not exist in a few years, maybe it's time to jump before the ship sinks. The other major problem AI poses is for entry-level jobs. In a lot of businesses, including architecture, entry-level jobs usually focus on relatively simple technical tasks. You never let a graduate architect loose with a client. They just don't know enough about the business to be able to give professional advice. This is probably true of a lot of jobs. The longer you work in business, the more contacts you make, the bigger your network gets, and the more problems you encounter in the real world. This is often overlooked, but it gives older workers a big advantage when it comes to interpersonal roles. They know who to ask when they encounter a problem. Younger employees might not have that real-world experience yet, but if relatively simple administrative or technical jobs are automated away, what will young people do straight out of school or college in order to gain real-world experience? I don't know if any of this is useful or if it's just getting people worried, but I think we should be talking about AI now before it gets too advanced. If we start planning today, it's possible to imagine artificial intelligence giving us a major productivity boost. Let me know how you feel about all this in the comments. And if anyone watching is working on AI, please stop creating flashy image generators like DALL-E 2, Midjourney and Stable Diffusion. What I really need is something to answer my emails. My name is Neil, and I have been a self-employed architect in the UK since 2009. If you enjoyed the video, give it a like. That really helps the channel. I make new videos every week about the reality of altering and extending private homes, as well as issues that affect the construction industry and architectural profession. If you like the sound of that, please subscribe to the channel.